everyone! We are back after being MIA for a little while. We spent the holidays with family, so Thanksgiving was in Southern California with Aaron's side of the family, and then we actually went to Hawaii for a month. I grew up there, my family's still there, so we were able to spend a lot of time with friends and family, which was so much fun. We brought Bailey along to Hawaii, her first trip to Hawaii. And if you don't know, Hawaii is rabies free, so it is not the easiest or the cheapest thing to bring your dog. So we'll cover all of that in another video in case you're interested in going to Hawaii and bringing your dog along with you. But for this video, we're going to share all the things we did in Hawaii, on Oahu and the Big Island. And just a disclaimer, we are not great at filming our regular content with family and friends. So we're gonna share a little bit now about what we did and show you clips along the way. We'll share some tips, recommendations on food, places, where to eat, some different activities. And I was also sick for about 2 weeks of the trip. So it's not as adventurous as we usually are, but we have lots of good food recommendations. So hope you stick around and let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
Bailey!
Success, baby!
We started our first week on Oahu. That's the island I grew up on, and we stayed with a family friend. So thank you, Auntie Karen, if you're watching this. She also had a dog, so it was the perfect place to bring Bailey. And this first week on Oahu, we mainly did holiday parties with family, ate so much good food at different potlucks. Really common in Hawaii to have potlucks where you just have a bunch of dishes brought from different places, so lots of good food. And then one thing we did get to do was go to the Kaka'ako Farmers Market. So this is a big recommendation if you're in the area. The Kaka'ako Farmers Market is massive. There are so many different booths. There's good fresh fruit juices, teas, coffee, smoothies, lots of different Asian foods are what I paid the most attention to. There were some like fruits and veggies vendors too, and then what I also really liked is there are a bunch of like crafty and arts vendors. So we stopped at one that had towels that we actually brought, so you'll see the towels in the van that we're going to bring with us. So many baked goods. We bought a few and brought them to a party, but so much fun. This is absolutely a must-do if you're in town. I think it's Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon, so very different from other farmers markets you'll see, so highly recommend that. So that was definitely a highlight. And then the next week we went to Big Island, but we did leave Bailey behind with my parents, so thanks Mom and Dad for watching Bailey, your little grandpup, for 5 days. We went to Big Island, and Big Island was so much fun. We do need to spread everybody out after. Thanks so much for tuning in. We stayed on the Kona side of the island. Usually you're either staying on the Kona side or Hilo. We decided on Kona because it's a little bit drier. We didn't want to get stuck in rain or anything like that.
Yeah, so this wasn't our typical like go to Hawaii and just lounge vacation. This was like do a bunch of touristy kind of things. We did pretty much all of the main things. We met up with my side of the family, and this Hawaii trip in general is really special to us because not only do we get to spend some time with Liana's family in Hawaii for the holidays, but we're also bringing my side of the family too. So it's kind of this nice big mesh of having this Hawaiian Christmas. On the first night that we got there, we just had a little dinner at Chiki-Tiki's?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's this fun little restaurant that has an ocean view, and we got like some cool tropical, what'd you get, like a lava float or something?
Something like that, but I got it with guava instead of strawberry. It's fun to get a little tropical drink. I always think that that's like the start of vacation. That's what marks the start of vacation mode.
We spent 5 nights with 4 full days to explore the island. So on day 1, we went to Volcanoes National Park. At Volcanoes National Park, we took Crater Rim Drive. We got to see the 2 volcanoes that make up the national park, Kilauea and Mauna Loa. And sometimes it's erupting. Unfortunately, when we went, Kilauea wasn't erupting, but then like the day we left the Big Island, it started erupting. So we just missed it by a tad. There's not many places in the world where you can see like active lava flows, so it would have been cool to see, but you know, maybe for another visit there. But aside from the volcanoes, you have tons and tons of craters. There's lots of lookouts that you can look out and see the craters and all of the cool steam vents and all that. And probably one of our favorites was that
lava tubes.
Yeah, the lava tubes. So the lava tubes is kind of this special circumstance of events where lava flow hardens on the top of it, and then the lava underneath it keeps flowing, creating this conduit tunnel where you can actually walk through where lava historically has flowed. So that was fun.
Little warning, it is about a 2-hour drive from Kona to the entrance. So it's a big day, a big driving day.
I ended up probably driving like 6 hours, so it was like 2 hours to Volcanoes, 2 hours of driving within the park, and then 2 hours from Volcanoes back to Kona.
Mm-hmm. And we mainly just did all the main stops along the drive. We didn't do any crazy long hikes or anything like that. So if you are planning on hiking and getting long hikes in, you might want to account for more than one day at the park.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, always check out the visitor center because they kind of have good guidelines for like if you're going to be at the park for a certain amount of hours, do these things. If you have this many days, do these things. So they kind of give you a rough itinerary for kind of the highly sought after places.
And then day 2 was another big drive day. So even though we were staying on the Kona side, we did want to spend one day in Hilo. We drove to the Hilo side, and this was a really fun day. We started at the Mauna Kea macadamia nut farm. They don't have a specific tour, but they do have a little gift shop area, a little nature walk. They sell macadamia nut ice cream, or macadamia milk ice cream, which was pretty cool. We got 2 flavors. And then they have a little video that played. It's kind of like a how it's made type video, so you can see how they produce the macadamia nuts and all of that. So that was pretty cool. And then on the way out, you can actually look into windows into their factory where they're producing and packaging their macadamia nuts. We were only there for probably under an hour, so it's a really quick stop, but that was a great way to start the day. And then we went to Liliuokalani Gardens next. And I'm such a sucker for gardens. I realized anytime we travel, going to gardens is like one of my favorite things. And this garden was extra special. The Liliuokalani Gardens is a 24-acre Japanese garden named after Hawaii's last reigning monarch, Queen Liliuokalani. And it's a tribute to Hawaii's first Japanese immigrants who worked in the island of Hawaii's sugarcane fields. So the gardens are really pretty with arching bridges, fish ponds, and pagodas. And we had so much fun walking through the gardens. It was just beautiful. And actually at the edge of the gardens, you can cross a bridge onto something called Coconut Island. And it's also known as Moku'ola, which translates to Island of Life. And on that little island, there are a few small beaches, there's a grassy area, picnic tables, and they even have a 20-foot tower that is popular to jump off of. We didn't, but we saw people jumping off, which looked really fun. And right at the other edge of the gardens was where we had lunch. We stopped at, I think it's Suisan Fish Market. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is a must visit in Hilo. Their poke is so fresh. We're huge poke fans. It is delicious, so highly recommend stopping there. Next door, there was Wailoa Grill, and they had a bunch of different local foods too. Great plate lunches. They weren't too expensive. I think most of the plates were under $20. Like, so much food in them. If you're planning on eating other things, you could probably share a plate, but that's a great place to stop for lunch if you're over there. We went to the Hilo Farmers Market next, which was so much fun.
Yeah, I feel like you always have to go to these farmers markets in Hawaii, or just like any tropical area, because they also have tropical fruits. We got apple bananas, which are some of our favorite. They're like these small little bananas that have a little tart kind of twang to it. Lilikoi, which is passion fruit. Longan, which is known as the dragon eye. And rambutan, which are both kind of like lychee, kind of jello-y, clear looking things.
Mango, pineapple, papaya. We got a whole bag. And then right next to the farmer's market, as if we weren't eating enough, we all got shave ice. It was a perfect way to cool down. So good.
Yeah, actually a little gecko thing joined us to eat the shave ice with us.
Yeah.
So it was like the first time a lot of us have seen one up close, but they're
It was so cute, or like really pretty, and it wanted our shave ice, and its little tongue just sticking out. It was so funny. Normally I'm a little bit more squeamish around like lizards and things, but I don't know, it was kind of cute, and it was eating with us, so it was a fun experience. So then we walked around Hilo and just did a little bit of shopping, and then we drove to Mauna Kea. You're going all the way up this volcano.
You're going from 0 to 14,000 in a relatively quick period.
We drive to the visitor center, and they recommend being at the visitor center level for at least 30 minutes to kind of acclimate. But they do a little inspection of your car if you want to drive past the visitor center. You have to have four-wheel drive.
The summit is only open around sunset time, so you have to get up past like this certain checkpoint, I think 30 minutes before sunset occurs, and then essentially right after sunset happens, you have to start driving down. So it was about a 30-minute drive up.
Hard to breathe up there, but it was beautiful. We enjoyed the sunset, and then we started heading down with all the other cars. Then you can do stargazing from the visitor center area. So from there we drove back down the 30 minutes, parked in the visitor center lot, and did some stargazing. And it was so clear, so beautiful. We just took it in. You did use an app though.
Yeah, the app that I used was called, I think, the Night Sky or Sky View. It was free on the App Store. You point your camera at the stars and you could see all the constellations that it makes up. You could see the planets, and then that way, you know, you're not just looking at random stars in the sky. You can actually understand what you're looking at.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're like, oh, there's Jupiter, there's Saturn, there's Orion's belt. Seriously, the best stargazing I've seen. Like, you feel like you're so close to them. It's so clear. You don't have a lot kind of interrupting your view, both from light pollution and like smog or anything like that. It was so clear and beautiful. That is a must do if you're going to Big Island. So that was day 2. We headed back to the hotel after that.
We have a fruit spread of a meal. What do we got here, Mom?
We have papaya, star fruit, apple banana, and passion fruit with, what is that?
Long gone.
Long gone.
AKA Dragon Eye.
We have peanut butter toast and guava jam, and then we have butter and lilyquid jam.
Nice. Day 3 was a little bit of a relaxing day for us. So right as we got to the Big Island, we had like 2 massive days of driving and touring, so we wanted to kind of chill out for a little bit. First off, for breakfast, we went to McDonald's. And
oh yeah, I have to talk about this. In Hawaii, at breakfast, you can get a Spam, eggs, and rice platter, a Portuguese sausage, eggs, and rice platter, or you can go deluxe, and it has Spam and Portuguese sausage with eggs and rice. And that was like my favorite breakfast to order from there growing up. At least one day, eat at McDonald's in Hawaii, get the deluxe platter. It's like, I think it ended up being like 8 something, and it's so big. And then I get a hash brown, and I'd cut everything up and mix it together, kind of like a fried rice. Little soy sauce and salt and pepper, so good.
And then after that, we decided to check out the Kona Farmers Market. So it was smaller than the one in the Hilo side, so that was fun.
And then, to relax more, we went back to the hotel and did a hotel day. We hung out by the pool for a while, and the pool was like had an ocean view too, so it was nice to just relax and hang out there. And then we went to a luau. I think they're very fun. You get good food, you have good drinks, and you get to see some really cool performances. So I personally think that at least once in your life you have to go to a luau. Voyagers of the Pacific, so we'll put the link in the description if you want to book one too, but it was, I recommend it. It was a good time.
On the 4th day, we went to a coffee farm. Specifically, we went to Heavenly Hawaiian Coffee Farm, and we did a little guided tour there. So when you first get there, you get to sample, I think, 4 different coffees, kind of like their flagship ones, I'm assuming, and then like just different varieties.
And it's an unlimited little coffee bar, so it's not like, oh, you get your one taster and you're done. Like, you can keep refilling it if you want to, so don't have coffee this morning if you're going.
Yeah, yeah, or else
go
you'll be
there.
over caffeinated.
Yeah. And the area where those little coffee samplers are, it's such a beautiful view. Like, even if you're not doing the tour, you could just go there and order coffee. They have a little coffee bar that you can actually buy like a single coffee if you want to. But the view from there is incredible.
Yeah, that's some prime real estate for a coffee
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was cool because we got to learn about how they go from a coffee cherry, right, this raw fruit, and convert it eventually into coffee beans, which you would make a coffee from. So we learned a lot from that. We got to explore their farm a little bit, got to learn their process, and of course got to enjoy coffee. So we did pick up some bags of coffee, which I'm stoked to eventually drink. I have to make it through my other bags first.
Yeah. But their tour is very much worth it. I know sometimes I question, like, is it worth paying for a tour? This one, yes, 1000%, absolutely worth the tour. They do a really good job. Very informative, beautiful views. They take pictures along the way. It's one of the highlights for sure. So definitely recommend.
Heavenly Hawaiian Coffee Company, roasting farm.
100% Kona coffee.
Oh yeah, 100% Kona coffee. Remember that.
And then after we left Heavenly Hawaiian, we went to this little shop that sold donkey balls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
I
that.
didn't know what these were.
Donkey balls are this thing from the Big Island. I think it's from Kona, but they're essentially these macadamia nuts that have some form of chocolate surrounding them that form these kind of ball-looking things.
And they all have silly names.
Salty balls for like the sea salt kind of covered, crusty balls if you have toffee in it.
They're just all silly. We got a couple for our friends.
Yeah, it's a fun novelty item to bring back to
Yeah.
friends and family.
After the donkey balls, we got lunch. We found Big Island Grill. That's just in this small little plaza. And I highly recommend it. I think Big Island Grill was great. There were a lot of different local food options, both for breakfast and lunch. We devoured our food.
Yeah. So much so that our waitress was like almost concerned how much
she's
we were
like,
eating.
she was like, "Oh wow, you guys ate everything," and we even got dessert too. It was like a little coconut ice cream cake with macadamia nuts. It was so good. Big Island Grill. Put that recommendation out there if you're staying in the Kona side. Great place to eat. Loved our time on Big Island. It was so much fun. I definitely think we'll be back at some point. Such a great place to visit. Highly recommend it. Hopefully our rambling and tips and recommendations are helpful for you, but there's so much to see and do, so go to Big Island. So then we went to Oahu and we were reunited with Bailey. She got to see all her favorite people. And we stayed at Doubletree by Hilton Alana because it was a dog-friendly hotel. There are a handful of dog-friendly hotels throughout Waikiki, but by the time we booked, there weren't too many left. So we booked this one. It was an average stay. I'm not going to inflate it and be like, it's the best hotel we ever stayed at. It was fine. It was a good location, and it was dog-friendly, so it worked out for us. And we were there for 9 nights. Paid for with points. Half by us and half by, again, thank you, Mom and Dad. This first day that we got back to Oahu, we walked through Waikiki and explored a bit. This was 2 days before Christmas, so it is holidays in Waikiki, which was really fun. So we first walked and enjoyed the sunset going down by Fort Jarusi Park, and then right at the edge of the park, you can run into the Outrigger Hotel that has Monkey Pod. And this is where we had dinner. Highly recommend going to Monkey Pod, especially if you can get there for sunset, and if you can reserve a table that is near the window view. It is beautiful. It's right on the water. Sunsets there are incredible. And if you can go during happy hour, then you get discounts on appetizers, pizza, drinks. Great place to stop at. And then after we left Monkey Pod, we walked through different hotels, and it is really fun during the holidays because all the hotels have different Christmas displays. There's different trees that are decorated and lights. One hotel had sand sculptures, so there's really so much to see during the holidays, and it's pretty fun. You may think it's different traveling during Christmas and not having those decorations at home. We were surrounded by Christmas walking through Waikiki, so it was really fun to do that. And then we stumbled over to International Marketplace, where there is one of the Liliha Bakery location. But they have two desserts that are most popular. One is a poi mochi donut, and then the other thing they have is kind of like a chocolate cream puff. It's very yummy, so highly recommend getting those two if you go to Liliha Bakery. And that was enough sweets for the night. I have more recommendations on food, but we'll save that for a little bit later. A fun little walk through Waikiki for that first night. The next day, we did an island tour. So this is something that you can do if you have a rental car when you visit Oahu. We started in Waikiki and we drove essentially through the whole Waikiki strip, and then headed towards Diamond Head. And we looked at a view down the coast, which is beautiful. There's a nice little lookout point you can stop at and park at for some photos and to take in the view. From there, we headed towards the east side of the island. There's a little shopping center called Coco Marina, and in the corner they have a Leonard's Bakery malasada truck. And this was like our first stop of the day. It's what we had for breakfast. Malasadas are delicious, and they're Portuguese donuts. So good, and depending on where you go, there may be smaller malasadas, but Leonard's Bakery, big malasadas. They cook them fresh, so it's nice and hot when it comes out. Covered in sugar, delicious, and you can get different fillings inside. So this time we did a haupia filling. They have regular custard too and different flavors. So good. I ordered 2 for myself. Most people could probably just eat 1. But if you have a group, you can, get some different ones and share. We got a whole box for everyone. In this area, some different activities. There's Hanama Bay, which is a great snorkeling spot. It was closed on the day that we were passing through, but you can go snorkeling there. You should get tickets or reservations in advance because it does fill up. And then there's a couple hikes near there. One is Coco Crater and one's Coco Head. All of these will probably be on all trails at this point. Kept driving past and you'll run into a few different beach areas and lookout points. Sandy Beach is a really popular one, Sandy's. But on this trip where we stopped was Makapu'u. And Makapu'u has a hike that you can do that goes up to a lighthouse. It's all paved. Normally we would do that, but we were with a big group and had a long day, so we didn't hike it this time. If you're not in the mood for hiking, there is a lookout spot that you can just park at and get the view, so that's what we did this time. From there is an area called Valley of the Temples that is actually a big cemetery. There's a lot of different sections, but if you go deep into that valley, there is something called Byodo-in Temple.
Yeah, it's cool. There's like ponds. There's obviously this massive Japanese temple that's like painted red, and then there's like a little gong. Yeah, it's cool. Just seeing the temple.
Oh, another one I didn't mention that we didn't do on this trip, but again, you can't do all this in a day, but just take down notes. Ho'omaluhia Botanical Garden is another one of my favorite stops out on that side. If you're a nature lover, garden lover, great place to go. Continuing up, Kualoa Ranch. It's another stop. We were actually supposed to get married there at one of their gardens. And unfortunately, if you don't know our story now, I'm doing little side stories, but unfortunately we were supposed to get married there during COVID in 2020 and we had to cancel our in-person wedding, but it's still always a special stop for us to go visit Kualoa Ranch. If you have the time, there are a ton of really fun tours that you can do there. They have some of the filming locations of Jurassic Park, so there's kind of like a movie tour. You can go zip lining, you can go horseback riding,
ATVs, safari kind of things.
Yeah, Jeep tours. There's so many fun things, so if you have time, definitely recommend a tour out there. Continuing up, another popular spot is Polynesian Cultural Center. We were going to have a welcome party there for our wedding. We didn't go this time, but they have a great luau and show there. There's also a lot of, if you're really interested more in like the cultural side, there's a lot of great things to do at Polynesian Cultural Center. And then where we did stop on this circle tour is Turtle Bay, which is in the Kovela Bay. And we were going to stay there when we were going to get married in Hawaii. So again, an almost special place for us. We ate out there. So there's Beach House by Roy Yamaguchi. So if you've probably seen the Roy's restaurants around that chain, So that is a nice restaurant to stop out if you're out there. It's right on the beach, so you have the views, you can hear the water. And then we continued around the island going into North Shore. And we were up there the day after the Eddie's surf competition took place. So luckily we were not in the traffic for that. If you go during the holidays, the winter months, the waves are massive on North Shore. It is, even if you're not watching the surf competition, it's beautiful just to see the waves all along the drive, just looking out the right side of your car. So that was beautiful to watch. And then we ended the day in one of my favorite towns in the North Shore, Haleiwa. Haleiwa is home to one of the most famous shave ice shops, Matsumoto's. And to this day, it is still one of my favorites, if not my favorite, shave ice on the island. They've kept the costs down, and they give you a lot of syrup. So, and their shave ice is very fine. So it is just so good. It's a few dollars for the best shave ice you can get, and that was a must stop to kind of finish our island tour before heading back to Waikiki and calling it a night. That was a big day. A lot of places that we just dropped. So hopefully that was helpful to kind of hear some of the must-go-to stops if you have a rental car and can get out of Waikiki. That was kind of our big tourist day. The next day was Christmas Eve. We went shopping. We went to Ala Moana, which is a big like outdoor mall.
Dog friendly.
Dog friendly. So we brought Bailey shopping with us. So much fun.
Do you see how big of a nugget she is right now?
She's such a nugget. So yeah, we shopped around Ala Moana, got some things that we needed, and then went to a holiday party for dinner. Christmas was also more family parties, so we had a potluck and got to see my little nieces and nephews and aunties and uncles and everyone and cousins, so it was really nice to spend time with them. Then the last like Christmas touristy thing we did was in downtown Honolulu. They have Honolulu City Lights. And they have a hall of different Christmas trees that are decorated, a hall with different wreaths that were all in a competition, and then a bunch of different light-up sculptures outside for Christmas. So it's a really fun spot. So if you need to get your Christmas fill while you're in Hawaii, there is quite a bit to do to get in the holiday spirit. Outside of Christmas, the other holiday that we celebrated was New Year's, and it was actually my dad's 70th birthday, so happy birthday, Dad. We all stayed in a hotel together and did another Waikiki night, which was really fun. So we went and had dinner at Kanikapila Grill, which is at the Outrigger Hotel, and it's really nice because they have live music and dancing, so we got to enjoy that. Really good food. Aaron got the fish special there.
Yeah, really good. Fried branzino with vegetables and rice.
And we got delicious, like, pineapple creme brulee for dessert. Oh my gosh, so good. It was so nice going there on New Year's Eve. We typically like to play games on New Year's Eve. The past couple years we did a puzzle, and we were trying to find a puzzle all over Waikiki. We just couldn't find one. But we found Exploding Kittens, so we played that with my parents, watched some of the New Year's stuff on TV.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! 2025! Woo!
Cheers! 2025!
It's gonna be a good one.
It'll be alright.
Is really special when you travel and get to see celebrations in different places. And outside of those celebrations, we did not really record our regular content. We were kind of on and off. I got sick after Christmas, so yeah, our activities were kind of sparse, but we did eat a lot. So I'll end with all of my foodie recommendations. So if you like food, hang on for that. Otherwise, two things I'll just call out for different activities. One is escape rooms. So if you need a break from being out in the heat and physical activity, then escape rooms are a really fun thing to book on vacation. We did one called the Playground, and it had like a classroom room, a playground, and a locker room. So that was a really fun one. If you need a big group activity, we had 10 of us in there, and I think you can have up to 12. Another good one is a brand new show that just opened called Awana. It's by Cirque du Soleil. Really unique to have this open in Hawaii now, and it was an incredible show. If you haven't been to a Cirque du Soleil show before, you need to. They're amazing. This one was a much smaller theater. It's very intimate. You are getting the acrobats and a lot of different really unique performances, and you're also getting hula and music. Any age, this show's incredible to go to, so highly recommend going to Awana. Now all the foodie recommendations. Kind of highlight different restaurants that we enjoyed going to. We did mention a few in Waikiki already. Monkey Pot is a great one for sunset and happy hour. Lulia Bakery is a good one for different desserts or breakfast. Kapila Grill is another good one for like dinner time and getting that live music and dancing. So those are some recommendations. Let me just pull up my list here, and we are gonna rapid fire these off. And just calling out, all of these are dog friendly as well, so that's a big thing with Bailey. So Waikiki Brewing was one that was right next to our hotel. Great place to go if you want some beers and brew food. Food trucks are right around that area as well. So this is right across the corner of Waikiki Brewing. There are something like, 20 food trucks?
Yeah, something
at
like
least. Tons of food trucks, any type of food you could want. I remember seeing all types of Asian food, like noodles, soups, rice dishes. They had like steak and shrimp plates, they had burgers, they had hot dogs, they had tacos. I think there's a Mediterranean one. So if you're in a group that kind of likes to eat different things, food trucks could be a good option. Dehai Brew is a great just like coffee shop option. I got a couple smoothies there. Aaron got a breakfast burrito and a breakfast sandwich. A little bit cheaper than probably eating anywhere on the water. If you like fresh fruit sorbets or ice cream, there is a place called Henry's Place. Henry is one of my mom's friends, so we always stop there when we can. But it's like a little hole in the wall, but delicious. The best sorbets I've had in my life. My favorite one is the mango lychee sorbet. So good, but he has a bunch of different flavors, sorbets and ice cream. He makes them fresh and they are delicious. You could really taste the fruit flavors coming through. If you want a nice place, I would recommend this for dinner probably. Eating House 1849 by Chef Roy Yamaguchi. It's really nearby Liliha Bakery in that International Marketplace area. We got their Pauhana like sample platter, and that's a good way to try a bunch of things. One of my favorite desserts I've ever had, lilikoi dreamsicle or something, but it's essentially like a panna cotta with fresh lilikoi in it. So good. We actually got a lot of our just like small meals and snacks from 7-Eleven. They have really good musubis there and just different quick bites that you can grab. So a lot of times we opted to just have a cheap breakfast and like grab a spam musubi from 7-Eleven, and that can save you some money if you don't always want to do the fancy meals. That's all of Waikiki in terms of like where we ate this time around. And then other recommendations if you're moving a little bit more towards Ala Moana and the Ward section. I'll start with Ward. There's a few that we ate at there. One is called Nalu Bowls. And this is my like favorite place in town for acai bowls. If you're in Hawaii, you gotta get an acai bowl. They're so good, so tasty. We ate at Fat Cheeks, which has lobster rolls and other yummy things, but their lobster rolls are like what they're known for. So good. And then another place is Jinya Ramen. If you're a ramen lover, this is a great place to stop at. We absolutely loved eating there. Popping over to Ala Moana, so the mall area again, outdoor mall. Restaurant-wise, Assaggio's. If you're an Italian lover, Assaggio's is my favorite Italian restaurant. I'm obsessed with their house salad. It may sound silly, like it's just a tossed green salad, but they have a delicious dressing, yummy pickled vegetables in it. It's my favorite simple salad. And then their pasta dishes are just delicious. They're probably so much butter, but it's worth it. And the other one that I always have to eat at when I'm home is Mariposa, which is the top level restaurant in Neiman Marcus. They have the best popovers. They are so good. It's served with like a strawberry whipped butter. It is my favorite thing to go eat those. And then really you can get anything on the menu. I usually really like their corn chowder, or I'll get a salad from there. But the popovers are like, you must go for the popovers. And then more casual eats, you can go down to the food court. They have so many different options. Again, great place to go if you're with a group that wants to eat different things. And then Foodland. I can't believe we're at the end of our video and we haven't mentioned Foodland this whole time. Foodland has the best poke, so good, so many different options, and really inexpensive for the value that you're getting. Foodland loads you up. Loads you up. So much fish. So good. You can either get one poke option or do a 2 choice, which is a little more expensive. And then they have frozen fish options versus fresh fish. You can taste the difference. But either way, that's all good. So, Foodland for poke bowls. They also have different bentos and a hot food bar too. Those are all my foodie recommendations. This was a long one. I feel like I've talked a lot this video, but we had so much fun getting to spend a whole month in Hawaii. It was fun bringing Bailey. We'll do a separate video on Bailey's experience and the cost and all of that good stuff, but if you're still here, thank you for watching. Hopefully this video was either entertaining or educational or helpful for you if you're planning for a trip to Hawaii. Comment if you have any questions. I did grow up in Hawaii and we go there usually once a year. And if you want to follow our adventures, we will be back in the van. We're back here, hitting the road soon. So we're excited to see you on the road, and subscribe to follow along.
I'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one. Bye, Bailey. Bye, Bailey.